of Skeletor laughing as usual. And we can start immediately to take a closer look of POWE-CON 2020. But before the closer look, I have a consideration that I want to share with you and for everyone that will watch right now or later the stream. Because right now we live everyone a weird situation in our life, the isolation, the quarantine and everything like that. Right here in Italy where I live, we have the lockdown is ended right now, but the problem is still also for everyone right here. But I think now that Master of the Universe looks like another world, another land where everything is possible, like collecting toys, like have a hobby or passion, for example, like an art, for example, because behind a toy line, a huge brand like Masters, there are the artists behind the create, the figure, the character, the filmation, cartoon, the movie, and everything. And when we watch a movie, when we collect the toys, when we go inside our passion, like the weekend for POWE-CON, for example, we forget everything, every problem, every nightmare, everything. And I think this is so cool and it's very good. This looks like when you read a book. For example, I'm a writer. When I write a book, or I wrote before, I was also a musician. The art is a present, an escape to go in a better world with our imagination. And also it's like Master of the Universe, because Master of the Universe is a world of Master of the Universe, a big world, because this is so unique, many people around the world love Master of the Universe and love POWE-CON. What do you think about that, John?
Oh, I think you're right. I think it's especially in these times when you can look to those hobbies that make you feel good and bring joy into your life. And there's the fan base for Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power is a very passionate, tight-knit group, I feel, and that's what keeps something like POWE-CON alive, because the fans just can't get enough of He-Man and Chara. And I just feel the passion is the word for it. And I think from that passion, they get so much joy with these properties. And I'm so happy that we were still able to do a virtual POWE-CON this year, since we had to cancel the actual live show due to the pandemic. And we had such a great partnership with Mattel that they decided to do their big reveals at POWE-CON this year, even though we were virtual.
Yeah. Awesome big reveals. I think we can start to talk about the reveals, and during this conversation, we make some conversation about some character and everything. I show you also, guys, some pictures of the reveals, and I think we can start with the awesome line, unique line, and talks about of the Mega Construx, because the Mega Construx is so unique because there's not it's something new. I love when the toy line, the company in general, makes something new for the fans. And Mega Construx is for example, Origins looks like an update for the vintage one, but Mega Construx is totally new concept, new things. And in the panel of virtual panel, they show many interesting prototypes. We show right now during the conversation. I can put right now, we can see something. This is Man-at-Arms. I think it was very cool. To me, my opinion, this guy is interesting because we have the mustache. And mustache is also an homage for the cartoon. What do you think about this idea to put a mustache on the Mega Construx Man-at-Arms?
Oh yes, I put Filmation above most things, including the classic toy line. So I like when the toys, when they're released now, that they do take elements from Filmation, especially popular ones, because Duncan always had his mustache. I mean, that's how we remember him. In the cartoon, he was like that even in the Mike Young 2002 remake cartoon, too.
Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. We continue this slide a little bit to watch some other guys with other point of view. There is a prototype of Zodak. I think the color right now is not the final, but they are very kind to show also to us the prototype. Is Attila, also Webster. This Webster is cool. I think it's one of the coolest reveals of this line. This is a prototype of the Ninja, Runman, and one of my favorite, this one, Buzz Off, because Buzz Off is so iconic, this character, and have finally Mega Construct is very cool. What do you think about Bazov? What do you think about Bazov character in general?
Oh, so I actually like the Mega Construct stuff. I've been buying all of them, and what I like actually about them is my office at work. I can easily kind of display them on the office. The one I did not get was the Castle Grayskull because that looked like it would be a little bit of a challenge for me to actually sit down and create, build it up. So I'm hoping to go and sit and watch someone else build one.
And I think also they says that it's possible in the future, maybe also a snake mounted in the
Hmm.
future. It's not a plan right now, but they think that could be possible maybe in the future. The snake mountain is another iconic playset, the number 2, I believe, after Castle Grayskull. We
And it's
continue the
nice that
slide right now for yes.
Oh, I was just going to say what's really
You
nice too is
continue.
they're kind of expanding the characters, so we're not just getting the standard, just kind of He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, that type of thing. They're branching out and hitting some of the other characters that don't usually get a lot of memorabilia. So that's what I really like too, like Ninjor.
For example, Ninja or like Whiplash that we saw right
That's exactly
now,
another good
or
example with Whiplash.
yes, Whiplash, Clawful. And also this one, the dentist, was very cool in my opinion. It's something that you never expected, especially in the beginning of this line, no? Or
Hmm.
Eldor, for example, a cool update of Merman.
Exactly.
Also, Ordak is awesome because I think when I saw Ordak on the panel, I thought there could be possible also an evil Ord or Ord Trooper in Mega Construct style could be very cool in my opinion.
Yeah, and they could easily even do a Filmation variant. All they'd have to do is repaint the Hordak.
Yes, I hope, I hope, I hope. I love. I'm a big fan of Filmation. I have the full collection of Club Grade School because it looks like to have in your hands the character from the cartoon is very cool. I love this concept in general. When a figure comes to the cartoon and become reality in action figure form, it's so cool. It's so cool. I love so much. We continue the slide with these guys of Mega Constructs. It work, yes, it work. Because I have some slide at the same time. If yes, it can go. I stop it right now. I don't know why there is some problem with the slide right now. However, we back in me and you and try to understand what happened with the slide. However, I think it's cool because they reveal many things and many characters. There was an expect. They say also that they said also that could be possible also a Shira figure in the future because they say there's not official right now, but they say that it could be possible. Obviously, we can have a man without Shira, and I think that they could be possible. Could be updated also Shira some point in the future for this line. I think. And Badoran is very around the corner because they shows also the package for Badoran, and also the feature is very cool also for these
Yeah, you can pull the
vehicles.
guy sled
Also, the
out. Yeah.
vehicles is very interesting. See vehicles in the Mega Constructs form because it's like the play set vehicles is something that we use as a fan in our collection. There's no master of the units without vehicles.
Exactly. And we had such fantastic vehicles in the 80s line, so it's nice to see them getting some love
I
now. Like
think they
Rokon
made an
was my
awesome job
favorite
also
and
for that.
Land Shark.
And also they made many figures. They show many figures for this line, and I think this is cool. Also the Panther because the Panther is Flocked Panther, the Panther that they put in the line, I believe.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. And this is very cool, I think, for this have this figure new vehicles because maybe the fan may make opportunity for the line. Right now, the fan for Mega Construx is very passionate. Therefore, because of that, we have the line that continues with this awesome skeleton Panther right here. It's very cool, in my opinion. That finally we have the possibility to watch to continue. This is the concept with the skull, also very cool. This is the package for the battle ram. Also, the artwork is amazing, in my opinion. Also, the package is another thing that the fan loves. The package for the figure, no, because it's a part of the art of the Master of the Universe. This mechanic also, mechanic is the action feature also of the neck, like the classics one.
Mm-hmm.
This is Zodak we saw earlier. Therefore, it's very cool, in my opinion, that the line continues, and maybe also because of the support of the fans, because the fans support a line, could be possible make other things in the line.
Yeah, and it's nice too that Mattel has enough confidence in Masters of the Universe to do these types of
What do you
lines
think
too,
about
because
that?
it's kind of more of a specialized
The
thing.
rules of the fans in a toy line.
Yeah, I think they know that if they put out a quality product like that that really appeals to the fans, that we're gonna want all the
Like maybe there
characters
is
in
some
that scale.
I don't know if there is.
Oh, I think you cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
Yes, and also because of the. Okay.
I couldn't hear anything you said. The audio kept
No, no,
cutting
no,
out.
because I think that there is a little delay, audio delay between you and me, I believe, because I think could be possible there is a delay. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me. Yes, there
I
is some audio problem. I don't know if it's the connection, maybe,
Yeah, there must be a
because
delay. I
I
did just
I
hear you.
hear you very well. I hear you. I don't know you
Uh-oh.
because I saw you that you were waiting a little bit during my after my words. Okay. Okay, I wait a little bit. I made a question and I wait a little bit to have the answer. Okay.
Okay.
I think the only way that we can do to think to have but not to not have problem for the audio problem. However, I try to continue. However, because maybe because this. Okay, try to continue right now, and we take a closer look at another line, another big reveals of POWE-CON 2020, and talking about of MOTU Origins, because Master of the Universe Origin is the big deal right now from Mattel, and also for the fans for the Master of the Universe. I think they are interesting because the Origins, yes, they looks like an update for the vintage one with better articulation and with different sculpt for the face. But also it's interesting the idea to create a Master of the Universe like a brand for a collector and their child, therefore a family brand. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. What's nice about this one is it really pulls on the nostalgia because it does look more like the classic line than MOTU Classics did, meaning so it looks more like the 80s toy line. So when people actually see these hanging in the store, since these ones will be in the store instead of just online through the Maddie, the Mattel Club, I think it's going to draw a lot of new fans into the line. And you can tell that Mattel is really excited about it, and I was really excited once they showed all the new reveals on the POWE-CON panel. Like even that, like you know, an extra Skeletor head that's going to be coming that I love, and I'm a big fan of Land Shark, so I'm really glad that vehicle is coming. You know, besides the fact of other cool things, like they're doing a Rise of Evil 2-pack that's going to have Keldor in it and Kronos. So that's kind of like a call even to the Mike Young cartoon. So it's really cool that Mattel is paying attention to like various aspects of the fandom.
Yes, yes, I'm agree with you. And we show you something with the fans in a few moments for the reveals. And then they see they are cool because they are because of this cost. There is some we take a close look of the slide. We have I think Ninja is the coolest of these four, I believe, because are in this moment of the line. And it's very cool is this four. Also I love Stratos, Merman, but Stratos and Merman are looks like two of the principal characters, no? Because we have Iman, Beastman, and Merman for the bad guys, Iman, Man at Arms, and maybe Tila, for example. And the other side, Skeletor, Beastman, and Merman, the typical trio of the bad guys in the beginning. Like, for example, for the you remember the mini comics, the vintage one. And the mini comics in the beginning was the evil was Skeletor, Beastman, and Merman in the beginning.
Yeah, I really like that they are pulling from later characters that were released later in the original toy line. It's just nice to see, again, like you're kind of saying, different characters that aren't that core group that we saw kind of over and over again in the merchandising of recent times. And I always thought Roboto was really cool. So I think he would catch even a child's eye when he's hanging in a store. So there might be children that aren't even familiar with Masters of the Universe, and they'll walk by, and I feel like they'll be drawn to that figure. So I think Mattel made some good choices on who to bring out in these first couple waves.
Yes, speaking of choices, they show also to us, they reveal also this original deluxe figure, the Battle Armor Skeletor, Battle Armor Iman, and Clam Champ. Another guy's Clam Champ, very unexpected in the beginning of these new Origin deluxe figures. For Clan Champ, what do you think? I think it's another a character like we saw before, Ninja. Clan Champ is another figure that wasn't expected right now. It's pretty cool.
Oh yes, I agree. And I'm a fan of Clamp Champ as well. Like
and
I said,
also
a lot
because
of those,
they had changeable ends.
yeah, and it's still nice that these later characters are kind of getting a spotlight right now while the line is fresh and hot. I think that's a very wise move for Mattel. It also saves, they can kind of sprinkle really popular characters throughout the waves to kind of draw interest as well.
Yes. Speaking of other characters, also in the Master of the Universe Origins, for example, the deluxe version. Isn't it the deluxe version also the changeable ends, changeable head is something new, especially for a 5-on-5 figures. Maybe it's the first time. This is a special look of also the all mini comics for each figure. The deluxe is something, an update also for the origin. The origin, in my opinion, are an update for the vintage one, and the deluxe is another update for the origins, because something the origin, but with something with plus more changeable ends or changeable and something that they haven't in the vintage, for example. And also Panther is another big release, especially because also the Flocked Panther is another big release. It was unexpected a little bit, because they say that a Flocked Panther is different, also have the same articulation, it's not seen normal one. They say that also.
Yes, and for anyone that didn't get to attend the virtual POWE-CON, we are posting the panels. So if you go to thepowecon.com, we have links up, and we'll continue to post the panels. So if anyone wants to actually see Mattel, present, they
Yeah.
can watch the panels online for free.
Yes, it's in the panel. Also, guys, subscribe this channel, but subscribe also the PowerCon official YouTube channel, because of the PowerCon channel on YouTube, you can see your panel. Yeah, I saw your panel in these days, so this is very fresh. Therefore, guys, support Mr. Allen in the world of choice. Share this video with your MOTU fans right now, but also support PowerCon channel right now or later this stream. Go immediately in the PowerCon channel to watch the panel, the complete panel. Very cool, also. And we continue also and we are a community. I think that it's good that we help together to help the community, the Master of the Universe community. I think it's important. I'm from Italy. You are in another part of the world, but it's cool because we are looks like a MOTU family.
Exactly.
You talks about earlier about these vehicles.
Some beautiful artwork.
Origin Land Shark is official. Yes, beautiful. And also another interesting reveals is this 2-pack with Kronos and Keldor. No, these two characters was before, for example, the Filmation story, and the Skeletor before to become Skeletor, and Trapjaw before Trapjaw. It's also a cool update. Also, this one for the Mortal Origin, in my opinion. And also, Flacket Panther is the other big reveals of this line. They show many cool stuff for this. There are many new reveals for 2021, and I think that MOTU fans are very excited right now. I think.
I agree.
But there is, to me, this is my personal opinion, I think there is only a sad side of everything of these things, because it's good Origins, it's good male constructs, but because to push this new line, we have right now no more Club Grayskull and no more William Stout. And for example, we have a lot of figure like this one, for example. Yeah, I show right now my Chara Filmation one. That's only one of the figure. And now we can add more of these guys, because now the Mattel work on this brand, on this side of MOTU Origins, and it is a little bit sad for a collector like me, I believe also like you, that we love Williams, because the William Stout figure were very awesome. And for the first time ever, we saw some figure like, for example, the Hyper Skeletor, the Dark Despot Skeletor was very cool. And now this line are stopped because license, and because Mattel wants to push this one. And I think it is a little bit sad. We are happy for the Origins, but a little bit sad also for the other one, I think. Me personally, however.
No, I agree. I would have loved to had maybe one more wave of the William Stout, so we could have got Evil Lynn, Tila, Sorceress, and Man at Arms. And then they could have done the Beastman movie version too. It would have been nice. You never know. Mattel is always full of surprises, so it could eventually pop up somewhere. I don't have any inside information though.
It could be possible, and I agree with you also, because and now I try to find the other slide, because they show something very mysterious, but also very cool about possible new 7 inches figure, because they talks about this. They reveals only the concept, but not the character and everything. However, they reveals also this new line called Masterverse, a 7 inches tall figure. It could be cool because they have the same size of the classics of the Club Grayskull. No, therefore, I believe many in the Masterverse, maybe in this new concept could be possible in the future Filmation. I don't know, only just a speculation. But the size is 7 inches tall. 30 points of articulation. Therefore, maybe some hope for that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I know they're going to focus a little bit on the new Revelations cartoon first. They showed the packaging, for those with the Revelation logo on it. But yeah, I'm hoping that the Masters verse kind of is piggybacking even off of the current DC comic that is out, which is the He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, and they've been using character designs in that comic book series from all the stuff. So the Filmation to New Adventures of He-Man to the movie designs have been in that comic. So I think at least that seems to be the direction they'll probably go with that Masters verse line, which I think will be great, and it'll look great hanging on the shelves there, competing with things like Marvel Legends.
Yes, could be very cool. And I show you also the package because I find also the picture, the package that you told a few moments ago, just to share also this aspect because therefore I think I agree with you for that because I think there will be some surprise in this line in the future because anything can happen. Anything is cool that. And also there is another, the little part, the mini side of Masters that they show also on POWE-CON is a MOTU Mini, the MOTU Minis. They are also cool, also cute, especially these little guys, the little side of Masters. And I think now I find also some picture for them because they show some cool stuff also for the minis, especially the vehicles, the Rot Reaper and also the Rotten, because they are small but they are nice. I think the minis. What do you think about the minis line?
I like them. They're what I call an impulse buy. So if I see them in the store, I'm gonna buy some. It's kind of like that. I think it's a nice something to complement the regular sized figures. It's also they're very popular here, at least in the States. Those type of bagged buys type things with a lot of different properties. So the kids really like them here. So I also think that was a smart move for Mattel, especially with there will be a new cartoon geared towards children too, in addition to Revelations. So I think there'll be some nice media out for He-Man, and hopefully that grabs both adult and children attention in the toy store.
Okay, there is also some question for many people. Maybe we can go to the question for the fans if you if you agree. Okay, the first one question for Jazzy: how many people are involved in putting on the POWE-CON?
Oh, so that's an excellent question. So the putting together of, say, before the show, I would say it's a core group of about 5 or 6 people. And then at the show itself, we have a wonderful pool of volunteers that come back every single year. Like we trust them; they're great. They do such a great job, and again, it's all because they love He-Man and Chara. But yeah, I would say it's a nice core group that gets the show all put together. And then it's a wonderful larger group of volunteers that help from everything from the registration desk to moderating panels to making sure guests are where they're supposed to be, to helping us distribute any exclusives that we have. Everything is done by a wonderful group of volunteers.
Okay, there is also support for our channel. They like our interview.
Thank you.
There is another question about Ram-Man figure. Maybe if Ram-Man takes off the armor, is there a neck? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to wait till Mattel shows us more pictures.
We need more pictures. And I continue, maybe some question for me when we arrive at the con, because I think during the stream was frozen, maybe someone goes down and maybe we return. However, what do you think about the situation in general between you think that we are more fan for Chara concept or for He-Man? concept in general? Because PoWE-CON is for both.
Yeah, so PoWE-CON is for both He-Man and She-Ra. So PoWE-CON, we view it all as kind of one property. So Masters of the Universe, Princess of Power, we all grew up with the original shows and toy lines. And as you know, the Filmation shows were basically one and the same, right? So they were very, very connected. Um, as for fandoms, I would say that there's passionate core groups in both. So you'll have your passionate MOTU, passionate pop fans, and then people that mingle together. And what I think is great about He-Man and She-Ra is that we have so many different things. So you have people that love the mini comics, or you have someone that loves the new She-Ra and the Princesses of Power that DreamWorks brought out. So we have so many things to choose from that I think there's so many avenues for fans to enjoy the property. And it's like, not everyone's going to love everything. Like, I'm not the biggest mini comic fan, but I love the Filmation cartoon, and I loved the She-Ra reboot, and I loved the live action movie, and I even watched the New Adventures when I was a kid. So I think there's something to love in all of them if you give them a chance. And I never see anything at PoWE-CON where, you know, people are having huge disagreements or something because, you know, they didn't like the New Adventures or they didn't agree with the new She-Ra reboot or something like that. Everyone's very respectful, and everyone knows that at the end of the day, we're all there because we just love these characters so much, and it just brought us, you know, continues to bring us so much joy even outside of our childhood.
Okay, I saw in the past also in the coverage that I watch on YouTube also that also sometimes you put also in the PoWE-CON also the Thundercats line, Thundercats concept.
Yes, so PoWE-CON, we also used to include Thundercats because it's sort of a related property if you think about it, even though it wasn't a Mattel property. Thundercats was very similar to Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power. And one year we also included the Ninja Turtles because they had a new show coming out. And again, a lot of us kind of all grew up with those same shows. They all kind of complemented each other in a way. But the core focus of PoWE-CON is, always has been, and will continue to be Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power.
Yes, but especially of related, we talks about Filmation. On the Filmation, we have other two best best show. Speaking of Braystar and Filmation Ghostbusters, they could be also a part in future PoWE-CON. These two lines, their Filmation creation.
Well, what's nice about Filmation is that a lot of the same people that worked on He-Man and She-Ra, so at Filmation, also worked on many other Filmation cartoons, from Brave Star to Filmation's Ghostbusters, things like that. So what's nice is a lot of times we'll have a guest, like Alan Oppenheimer, right? So Alan Oppenheimer, of course, did Skeletor and Man-at-Arms, but he also did Primeval in Filmation's Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And one year we had Gary Chalk as kind of another crossover example. Gary Chalk was the voice of He-Man in the New Adventures of He-Man. And then in the Mike Young cartoon, he was the voice of Man-at-Arms. So it's kind of nice to see how some of the talent has worked on different versions of He-Man and She-Ra.
Okay, I have another question for you. Like speaking of the Master of the Universe, what is your favorite character in the Master of the Universe of all, and your worst character, the character that you don't like of the Master of the Universe? Your favorite and the worst.
Okay, let's see. So I guess my favorite character would be Hordak. If we're going for Masters of the Universe, like from the toy line, I would go with Hordak as my favorite character. I always thought he was a more interesting villain than Skeletor. As for my most hated character, or the one I dislike the most, well, I always get a bad rap because I always make fun of Teela because I feel that like Adora, even when Adora is Adora and not She-Ra, she still like kicks more butt than Teela does. So I'll go with Teela and be an unpopular opinion.
I agree with you about Ordak. I think Ordak is looks like more powerful than Skeletor, more serious, more because was like an emperor with the troopers. No, the Skeletor looks like evil with this goofy and creepy villains, but it's not the same like Hordak. It looks like a very big lord of evil. Or
Exactly. Yeah, Hordak had that whole army to command, and let's not forget, Hordak did overtake Etheria, whereas Skeletor was unable to, overtake Eternia. So it's kind of like Hordak was in charge over on Etheria. So he got a couple steps further, I think, than Skeletor did.
But also, I think that the evil one is Ort Prime, however, the evil one that we never saw in the cartoon, the face of this. This Ort Prime, remember me also a little bit a character. It is a related situation for Bravestar because of Stampede. You remember Stampede and Ort Prime? They are the same concept behind this magic, big power, evil. But you never know what is this evil power in reality, because especially Ort Prime we saw only in the cartoon the ants, these ants,
Yes.
the creepy ants, the big creepy ants, but nothing. We saw something. But it's something relationship, I think, between this, especially between Bravestar and Master of the Universe cartoon. Yes, there is a guy that is back. Yes, Justin, we are back and we still alive. Only some connection problem. We are alive. You have some question. You have this is the opportunity for you because some guys find us again after the false moment. Maybe later I edit the stream and I put out the part that was frozen because the stream is still is not stopped. Therefore, I need to make an editing later to have a better way for the work. There is a question, I believe, right now from just: are you guys going to have the Rollins battle armor masters just like the Vinci stuff?
Well, that's not something I can answer. That's something Mattel will have to reveal eventually. They were kind of just teasing that Mastersverse line at POWE-CON, so I'm sure there will be more reveals for that line to come. And I'm just speculating, but probably more so closer to when the Revelations cartoon premieres.
Yes, I agree with you. There is another comment. Like all the vintage stuff you say, yes, because that's a part of the first one. It's the same question in two parts, I believe. And I think that yes, the nostalgia part in the origin is very big, however, because it's time to live again the same things the vintage one, no? Because we have once again Land Shark was also in the vintage one. It's just like to become a child once again for the guys that collected the vintage one. I think is the things that I think is cool, but I think also that. For example, I don't know, maybe I will purchase only the guys that I haven't for the vintage. For example, I lost my Scareglow, therefore I think that I will purchase my Scareglow Origins. It's only good to maybe to have the figure that we haven't or we lost on the vintage. Then maybe it's hard to find right now on the aftermarket on eBay, because it's sometimes the vintage one is that the price is higher than maybe the origin, because the price of origin is very easy for everyone, the price of the origin, and they are very also they are a better update for the vintage one. Therefore, it's very cool for that. I think they will be a big support for the origins also because of the price.
I agree. Yeah, they're easy to purchase, especially as impulse buys at the store. So that's great for an adult that walks by, or if they see it and they're like, "Oh, I had He-Man when I was when I was a kid. I'm going to get this for my children." So I think it could be a real nice experience from a family perspective.
I think there will be a big bombshell when they maybe the future will reveals something like the Castle of Grayskull Origins or Snake Mountain Origin. They think that then when become reality, this play set will be a big deal for Mattel, but also for the MOTU fans, because I saw many comments in general, also on the videos. So I saw on social media, I saw many guys who wants the Castle of Grayskull now for the Origins. Therefore, I think that is planned, and maybe it's not right now, but I think it's possible because there is a big support for this origin.
Oh yeah, and I think if they sell well, they'll keep pumping out more product, and if they do sell well, that'll show them that they could do things like Castle Grayskull or Snake Mountain.
Yes, I agree with you. Speaking of the three play set, what is your favorite in general? The Fry Zone, Snake Mountain, or Castle Grayskull?
Well, I have to go with the Fright Zone because it was Hordak's lair, but I even like the Slime Pit even more than the Fright Zone. But of the main three there, yes, I would pick Fright Zone. I'd even pick Fright Zone over Eternia. I didn't have Eternia as a kid, so I don't have any love for that one. I'm going to stick with Fright Zone.
Yes, Eternia was also a little bit, the price was expensive when I was a child. Eternia was big, expensive. It's not easy to have Eternia.
Well, I remember seeing it in the toy store, and I remember asking my parents why it didn't look. To me, when I saw Eternia, I thought it would look like the Palace of Eternia, so like it did in the cartoon, that kind of reddish circular building. And of course, my mom and dad didn't know what I was asking, and they were just like, "Well, if it doesn't look like the cartoon, we're not buying it for you then."
I
I
think
could have had it.
they think that they didn't like of the Eternal places when I was a child. They put a snake, like another a snake. They remember the biggest snake mounting on the cartoon, but with a snake mounting place it's a little bit weird because we think what is the right snake mounting? The tower snake mounting in the Eternia playset or the snake mounting playset? It was a little bit weird to me. So another snake mounting a snake tower is something confusional to me.
Well, yeah, and
Was
in the vintage toy line, really, sort of only Castle Grayskull really looked like the cartoon. I mean, Fright Zone didn't look like the cartoon. I mean, even over in Shira's line, the Crystal Castle looked completely different in the cartoon. So yeah, we had some inconsistencies there with the toy versus cartoon.
I remember, for example, I was also I'm curious also about your opinion for that. To me, when I remember was a child, I like also design the figure. I watch the cartoon and design the figure, but also when I design the figure on the paper, obviously the characters. When I watch my figure, my vintage one, sometimes I was a little bit frustrated because the likeness wasn't perfect between the cartoon character and the figure. For example, the character of the Princess of Power lines was totally different than the character that we saw in the filmation. And when I saw the Shadow Weaver or Scorpion, and we have a Shadow Weaver and Scorpion, was a little bit frustration. What is your reaction about the big difference between the vintage line and the filmation cartoon?
Well, and that's why I love that Super 7 did that recent line where it was the filmation style, but in the old vintage scale, and they made us a Shadow Weaver. And I'll tell you, that Shadow Weaver looks perfect in my whole group of She-Ra collection from the old from the vintage that I have. I stuck her right there with the rest of the horde, and it's like as if she belongs.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, Super 7 made cool toys, cool figure for us. And I love so much. I talked with Brian Finn in another interview that you can find right now on this channel, my friend, if you want, or subscribe. However, yes, they made up cool things for the Filmation one. Also, the exclusive of POWE-CON a few years ago, where there was Chopper, Triel, Montauk, and Spiker was so cool, so cool. This exclusive for POWE-CON a few years ago.
Yes.
And I was very excited for that because I obviously I'm living in Italy. It was difficult to be on POWE-CON, but like a non-attendee, I purchased this figure from POWE-CON and the POWE-CON website for because I was very excited. And finally, the first time ever, a perfect Chopper figure for Filmation One. Therefore, I'm agree with you. Super 7 made an awesome work for that. Yes, Mattel started this collaboration online, but the work that did Brian Finn and Super 7 was very awesome, very cool, very cool.
Yes, and we have such a nice relationship, or we did with Super 7 and with Mattel, that they were willing to work with us on those exclusives. And we worked with Mattel closely on the exclusives this year, which was the Lords of Power pack, which are Origins, but in the kind of early designs of the first couple characters. And then we also got the exclusive Origin She-Ra. So Mattel really thinks about the fans, when we're talking with them about like what type of exclusives would be able to release on the show. And then we're always happy to, extend those exclusives out to anyone that can't, attend the show like you, so that you can order them online and all of that. So we really hope that people enjoy that. I know exclusives can be hard to get sometimes. They're a little bit more expensive and things like that. But it's really companies like Super 7 and Mattel. It's one of the ways that they support this show, is by allowing us to have those exclusives. So just remember that when you do purchase one, you are supporting POWE-CON. You're supporting, the He-Man and She-Ra fandom. And we definitely appreciate all of the years of support that everyone has poured into POWE-CON.
Yes, it's very cool, and I agree with you. I remember when I purchased this exclusive. I remember when I saw the news for this exclusive, I purchased immediately. I believe I purchased that on May, I believe, and because I was very excited, if I can have my collection without these figures of my formation. I was very happy. However, it's cool. It's cool also the support, and also that Mattel, Super 7, and also especially Mattel right now support the convention, because the convention is like the Christmas in the year for the MOTU fans. And I think it's important that Mattel understand and support, and also the consideration and respect for the fans, because I think that the respect for convention is also respect for the fans. For example, also they made this the flat Panther is another is example of respect for fans. It's cool because I think that every brand this is the perfect way to have an exchange opinion with the fans is important, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And we've seen that from all of the companies that work on He-Man and She-Ra in some way, from like Mattel to Netflix, who is working on the new, He-Man cartoons, to DreamWorks with the new She-Ra cartoon as well. Everyone was very, very interested in working with us, and because they knew that they were going to reach that core group of really passionate fans. And like we've been so blessed to have things like, the Revelations cartoon was the information was debuted last year's POWE-CON, and then that even this year's POWE-CON, Mattel wanted to make sure we could get it up and running virtually, so that they could help share this all the new stuff with all the fans.
Yes, new stuff and new surprise, because once again I think this Master versus Baby, is only a teaser, and maybe to me is the biggest reveals, because anything goes in this line. And I think that especially the guys that love the classics, that love the Grey School, they're looking forward for this new project that Mattel once again give you the exclusive to, for first time ever, announce this on POWE-CON. It's pretty cool in my opinion.
Yes, and like I said, we really appreciate that Mattel trusts us with that.
I like the community of our Master of the Universe, because on this channel I put many different collectibles and things, but the community of Master of the Universe, of Masters, is totally different than the other one, because they love, they have a big patience for this line, for everything, for the review that I made, because they love Masters in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw very friendly also. I think that I like this community in general.
I think we have some of the best fans, so I agree.
Because before I start to have a relationship for the MOTU fans when I start with this channel, because this channel was born only for a channel for review for my vintage one. It was born some few years ago, about 2 years ago, and later I start to put my other collection. But before I was a MOTU fan, but I was a little bit alone in my home, because in Italy it's different. The problem in Italy, for example, if you are a collector, if you are a YouTuber of collectibles, they look to you like a weird guy. Who is this guy that collected with a toy room? It's not like, for example, my fans, the guys that they watch my channel, everybody are from USA, because in Italy there's not this type of deep passion. They love maybe only video games, something like that. And therefore, the reason why I'm Italian and I speak English, maybe not the better English ever, I don't understand, but I try it. I think you are frozen. No, okay. There is another question right now for you. Do you think it's possible any new MOTU toys based on old design will come out again? This is a question.
Pure speculation, I would say, yeah, I don't think anything would be off the table for Mattel. If they think it's something that would appeal to the fans, I think they would do it. If they think it would sell in the store, obviously they'll do it. But those type of things you might find even as exclusives, not just like a POWE-CON exclusive, but they'll do retail exclusives in the United States. Like you saw, some of the stuff is exclusive to Walmart and some is exclusive to Target. A lot of the other toy lines that are real popular right now, like Marvel Legends and Power Rangers Lightning Collection, they get different stores in the U.S. will get exclusives for those. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mattel used the designs he's referencing to do some type of exclusive.
Okay, there is also a guy that says that also in Canada loves masters and collection. Yes, I know. Also in Canada, also in South America, only Italy, also in Germany. In Germany, there are a big MOTU fan base.
Yes, there's even a convention in Germany too.
Yes, and but in Italy, in general, collecting toys, they look like also wrestling, because they have also another channel bigger than this one, a wrestling channel, and a live stream. Also, wrestling in Italy is not very important. Also, collectible toys, Master of the Universe. Therefore, I know many friends that love Master was a child but stopped collecting. Therefore, the only way to share my passion is created this channel. Yes, I start with Masters because of Masters I started this channel. Now in the center there's other many things, but Master of the Universe is the beginning, because when I start to continue collecting because of Top Grayskull, I think I want a channel to make review and start this new travel, because it's like a travel project. It's a project. The funny thing is so cool. And I think there's no more question. I have the last question for you, a nice question for you, before to say goodbye and to say thank you to join the stream. And sorry for some difficult connection, but I will do a better editing later. You can choose only one character that never had a figure. A character that never had a figure in, and not only in Masters. Which character did you choose for a first time ever action figure Master of the Universe?
Okay, so this is not. Well, first off, thanks for having me on. It was fun. No worries about technical difficulties. So my choice is kind of well known in the fandom, I guess, because this is what I always say. So originally it was Adora, because we never got an actual, in the 80s, we didn't get one that looked like Adora with the red outfit and everything. But then they fixed that, right? In Classics, we got an Adora. So my next one that I wanted, and it's not a popular character by far, but it's actually from the New Adventures of He-Man. And the character that I really want a figure of is Master Cebrian, because he was kind of the sorceress, if you will, of the New Adventures of He-Man, because he was kind of like He-Man's mentor. And he was such a big part of that show that since we got a lot of the other characters from New Adventures, he's really the one that's really missing in that kind of core group. So I would pick Master Cebrian.
Perfect. Okay, guys, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget, like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more interview, because more interview is coming. And I hope also in the future, maybe another interview with John. If you want, you're welcome. Maybe when will be something new or Masters to have a conversation together. You are very welcome if you want to be once again in the future. And also subscribe POWE-CON official channel to support POWE-CON community, my friends. Thanks for watching from Mr. Alan in the world of toys and Jon Kallis.
Thanks again for having me. It was fun.
Thank you so much. So long, everybody. Thank you so much.